So what you have to do is you have to go in there and try to get rid of the yeast and get rid of the Clostridium, and then reseed the intestines with some better form of bacteria before you even begin, because that woman is chronically anemic, right? So when you have things like this and it says good for anemia, all forms of anemia and blood deficiencies, you begin to realize that if you're taking that with the kind of acids and things like that, that one of the things that it probably does is to change the terrain of the gut.
So the Clostridium would die off.
Yeah, take off, because you have that kind of situation. Yeah, I'm just speculating, you know.
You know what good for putting iron in your body? The roll fig leaf, the one that roll on top there.
Yeah, that makes
that
sense.
ain't open.
That makes sense.
You're cutting that and cut it up and boil it and drink it.
Well, that's the same as if you boil a young fig.
That roll fig leaf there.
Yes, because you know when you get young bananas, you know, long time they used to pick the young ones, right? And you boil that, and when you boil that and you look in the water, the whole pot turn a black.
Black,
color.
yes.
And the black is from the iron. The excess amount of the iron,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So you're making great sense.
Right, so the roll.
Estrogen deficiency disorders. Nourishes and strengthens the lungs, resolves phlegm, relieves coughing and wheezing. All right? So here we're still talking about stinging nettle.
Stinging nettle, yes.
Right? So it's good for chronic bronchitis, lung TB, bronchial asthma. It's good for shortness of breath, coughing up of thin white sputum. It's good for allergic rhinitis, asthma, and eczema. It astringes dry damp and stops discharge and bleeding, reduces infection. Here we now go into the productive system, right? So we have clears vaginal and urinary discharges, good for scanty, frequent, painful urination, also good for leukorrhea, diarrhea, chronic gastritis, intestinal ulcers. It's also good for stopping hemorrhages, internal and external, including menstrual bleeding, nosebleeds. It's good for hemophiliacs, helps to slow down the bleeding, as people always bleed easily.
Yes.
Damp bladder, damp heat, frequent painful urination, cloudy urination. Good for urinary infections, acute and chronic. Cystitis, nephritis, good for the kidneys too. Mouth and throat infections, sores, ulcers, catarrh, lung TB and hemoptysis, burns, bites, stings and wounds. Promotes detoxification, relieves toxicosis and eczema, dissolves deposits and stones. That would make sense, because the makeup of the nettle with the acids in it, that's what causes it to sting. Right? It follows that if you're using it, that it would be good for hard deposits, urinary stones and gallstones, tumors. When you look at the amount of things that are good for gallstones and kidney stones, you then you say, we shouldn't have any problems with that at all. Start with something simple like sour lemon.
Sour lemon.
Right? Rough skin lemon, as you call it. You have Chanca piedra. You have red clover.
Red clover.
You have stinging nettle.
Stinging nettle.
Stinging nettle also good for the prostate.
Yes,
right?
yes, but it is the red one.
The red one.
The red one.
And preferably the root.
Yeah. Yes, yes, we root everything. We root everything, that red stinging nettle for the prostate. Just mix it with that.
Listen to the note that he has here. Nettle root and nettle seed are remedies that should be considered separately from the nettle herb. Nettle root is used notably for its decongestant, that is anti-inflammatory action on the prostate, i.e. in benign and other forms of prostate hyperplasia. In general, it shares with the herb most of the functions, 3 and 4 above, working as an astringent, antidiarrheal, mucostatic and detoxicant and dissolvent. Right? So let us go and look at nettle root. 445. So here he talks about the nettle seed. Nettle seed is traditionally used as a restorative for weak deficiency conditions of all types. Analysis of the seed has shown phytohormones and a fatty acid containing tocopherol up to 33%. Vitamin E.
Vitamin
Now, when I was young, and you go to the pharmacy, and you bought vitamin E tablets, you used to get a little tablet, had a few milligrams. And when you take vitamin E, which was natural vitamin E, it used to do all kinds of nice things to you. Right? So you know that when you want to put up and thing, you go and you get some vitamin E tablets. And then they came and they started making vitamin E in a bigger amount. So now you could get a vitamin E tablet that is 800 IUs, which is almost like a 1,000 milligram tablet. And now they put mixed tocopherols in it. And then they have D-alpha, vitamin E, and DL-alpha. And you have to be very careful because DL-alpha is synthetic, which makes it even more of no use. And the D-alpha is what they make up the mixed tocopherols and things. If, however, you were to get organic wheat germ oil, which is rich in vitamin E, and you take it, it has a totally different effect on you, that little bit, than if you take a whole big pill with vitamin E. Again, it's this thing about using the natural formulas and using formulas where they take out stuff and put it back together, and somehow that it doesn't have the same effect. Well, that is part of the whole thing. That's why they put it up in the first place. So here he says that you can use the nettle seed, right, for, everything because of the phytohormones, and because it has up to 33% of the oil in the seed is vitamin E. Now that's good to know.
That's good to know, yes.
So we run along and keep going. Check out another one. Let's go check out black pepper.
Then, there's a certain type of thing in nettle. It's a broad leaf, green, dark green.
Yes, I know you.
That for diabetes, for sugar. Yes, that one for sugar. Yes, big broad leaf, that big green leaf stinging nettle for diabetes.
But you don't see it very much again.
No, it's plentiful on the north coast.
That's why you have to go up in some cocoa estate or something.
No, it's on the roadside.
On the roadside?
Yeah, from the time you leave the pole, the gate going up, right? From the time you leave there going up, okay, when you reach where they have the first spring,
yeah,
from there, on the right-hand side, right up to Lafayette.
All the way you have water.
What? Yes. Plenty of that broad stinging nettle there.
You know, you were talking just now about this money bush.
Money bush.
You don't see money bush much in the north.
No.
But the minute you hit going down San Fernando, and you're going through La Romaine, Princestown, all them road, they just peppered all down. And it dawned upon me, maybe that's why people in the north don't know it as well as people in the south. You know, I was going through the Tasker Road a few months ago, and it was field after field of money bush.
But when the last trip we make down there, when we went by the school, yeah, all around there is money bush, you know?
Yes.
Plenty money bush.
So we have black pepper. It warms the stomach and the intestines, promotes digestion, resolves mucus damp, and relieves bloating. So it is good for the digestion and it clears mucus. In these days and age where we eat everything with bad milk products, you can understand why it's good to throw a little sweet pepper, a little black pepper into sweeten the whole thing. It raises the central chi to counter prolapse. So black pepper is good for prolapse of the intestines and the uterus. You know, whenever people have prolapse, a lot of women have prolapse of the uterus, especially after childbirth, right? And the thing is, they want to cut it and pull it back up, you know. And he said, no, 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 no. There are herbs that will do that will pull it back in. And they're always surprised that you have a herbal formula that will pull that prolapse back in.
And that is important in today's medical era where everything is a surgical solution.
Yes.
You know,
And it does it very efficiently too. Just as if you have inguinal hernia and it's not torn, it's just swelling out. They have a lot of herbal formulas that will shrink it back down. But people leave it, and after a while it bursts, and then you have to go and get a operation, and you have to put a gauze inside it to hold it, because what happens is that the ligaments and things that hold in that area, they get weak. Most of the time it's because of vitamin C shortage. Because vitamin C is very important for holding the ligaments and the tendons and things of the body in good strength, you know. And the blood vessels, because you have people and they say, oh, you know, sukuya bite me.
Sukuya bite me, yes.
You look and see
Yeah,
a pectec here,
yes.
a little patch of dry,
red.
you know, mauve-colored blood right under the skin. And you tell them, you say, no, you don't have enough vitamin C. You don't suck oranges, you don't eat no berries or anything like that. Start doing that. And they start doing that, and after a month or two, they say, you know, it's gone back. That's because you strengthen back the vessels, blood vessels.
So a lot of the illnesses that plague society is because of deficiencies of one form.
Yes,
or the other.
deficiencies of all kinds of things. You know, I had a patient the other day, and she wasn't sleeping well, and so I gave her some natural vitamins, right? But the other thing that I gave her was trace minerals from the sea, you know, like some trace minerals. She rang me up 3 nights later to tell me that she slept well from the first night, and that she hadn't had any problems. And 2 weeks later she called back and said, she's still sleeping well. She says, all my life I've been having trouble sleeping. And I gave her some trace minerals, and that was it. And then I begin to understand that any little thing lacking in the body, I mean, because trace minerals, I mean, is a microgram or something in the body that's missing, and it will cause all that problem, you know.
So the body will let you know by manifesting in different ways.
Yes, yes. Now, listen to this. That's why I like to really dig up on these books, you know. You get some good. So it warms the exterior, promotes sweating, dispels wind, cold, and reduces fever. So it's good for the onset of flus and things like that, right? Which makes sense. You drink black pepper tea, right? But it restores the brain and nerves, promotes clear thinking, and improves vision.
Ooh.
Bet you never know that black pepper will do that.
Do that?
Nerve and brain deficiency, weakness, dizziness, concentration loss, absent-mindedness, cerebral deficiency, vision impairment. Now, one of the reasons why we use black pepper, especially when you take it and you grind it up, is that when it gets into the intestines, it tends to open up the junctions in the large intestine and allow the absorption of foods. Like, for instance, when you're doing saffron, right? You put black pepper, you sprinkle black pepper, so that it will open the pathways, so that the curcumin will go through easier, the turmeric will go through easier.
So now I'm really thinking now about the seeds, the black pepper seed you're talking about.
Yeah, the seed.
Yeah, the seed, right.
To
It's
clear
a-
the brain,
right,
produce,
it's a-
promote clear thinking,
No, I'm going to start.
concentration
I'm going to buy
loss,
my black pepper seed now.
absent-mindedness. See, I have reinstilled you.
Yeah, yes. Grind my black pepper seeds and grind my black pepper seeds and do my thing for myself.
Let us find another nice one. Things that we use and we don't know the big thing of. Watercress.
Yes.
Watercress. Functions and indicators. Nourishes the blood and essence. Generates growth and relieves debility. Restores neuroendocrine immune functions and regulates the metabolism and promotes lactation. So it is good for blood and essence deficiency. So it's good for fatigue, pale eyelids and face, dizziness, metabolic disorders such as anemia. So it helps with anemia. It is also good for pituitary, thyroid, and pancreatic deficiencies. So it helps to stimulate the pancreas, so it means you're looking. So therefore, it is good for diabetes.
Diabetes.
If it's strengthening the pancreas, it's good for diabetes.
Diabetes.
In the case of
And that.
hyperglycemia and the pituitary and the thyroid. All right, nerve and brain essence deficiency is good for weakness, depression, absent-mindedness, memory loss, debility, and slow growth in children. Promotes digestion, stimulates bile flow, resolves mucus damp, reduces accumulation and relieves bloating. It helps to eliminate parasites. Here, if the watercress promotes urination, resolves toxicosis and eczemas, decongests lymph, resolves deposits and relieve irritation. What kind of deposits? Urinary stones and gallstones. So you see, one of the things that you begin to understand is that if you're eating a lot of natural foods, right, we come upon bee pollen, we come upon aloe, we come upon watercress, right? So it have a lot lemon, rough skin lemon. All these things promote the breaking up of urinary stones and gallstones. So you begin to realize that when a person have turbid bile that goes into stones, that if they were eating right, they wouldn't have that. The body will naturally flush itself. So a lot of the stones, I think we have is for people who don't eat properly. Urinary irritation, right? Promotes expectoration, resolves phlegm, relieves coughing, and opens the sinuses. Watercress herb is another superior food remedy that contains strong nutritive and detoxicant functions. Contains many analyzable constituents. It typifies a plant that has developed as a result of several different bioenergetic activities. The interplay of these bioenergies in a fluid environment produces watercress as we know it, growing in the cold running waters of streams and fountains. This herb's iron and iodine content in particular directly results from the levels of those elements found in its fluid environment. So in other words, if the water coming down the road have iodine in it, you're good, right? So if it doesn't have it, well, you're in pain. That is why one of the best fertilizers you can get is seaweed.
Is
seaweed.
Seaweed.
Remember a couple of years ago they had seaweed throwing away?
Yes.
And everybody was talking.
Yes.
And I wondered, I say, what is happening to all the people in the universities who are supposed to be all these agricultural experts?
Yes.
Yeah,
because I thought they'd say, listen, big government, this is a chance to start a whole new trend.
Yes.
Let's take all that seaweed outside there, wash it off, put it in a place to rot, smell crazy for a few weeks. And then you take it, you mix it with a little soil, and you sell your own potting mix. That would have been very good because you'd have had large amounts of iodine in it. You'd have all your trace minerals. So anything that you grew, any greens or anything, would have had all those nutrients in them.
And it was
I have a patient who lives in Tobago, and he has a fairly fair-sized cocoa estate. And he told me that he went and he collected several truckloads of it and brought it onto his place. He said it stunk up the place for a few weeks. He said, but when he finished and he washed it off on thing in the rain, and then he stirred and he went and he put it around all his cocoa trees. He says 6 months later, if you see the size of cocoa he has getting, and the taste had gone up dramatically. He says, and I can't understand why people was making noise about trying to get rid of this
Get rid of that, yes, but watch that on certain parts of the sea. North Manzalina, all of these places, oh gosh.
We should have been welcoming that.
Yes. Well, at least now I hear in this seaweed.
Seaweed is the perfect fertilizer, mulch. So you could get your topsoil and you get your plants and things, and then you throw the seaweed in. What the seaweed has, it grows in the sea, so it will have all the minerals. It will have a heavy dose of iodine. which we're short of, right? So by the time you finish dealing with this plant and the thing, you know, I remember long ago seeing a film, and the guy is saying that he's on a mission from the king. And the fellow says, why? He says, I'm going to see these villages by the sea, where everybody else gets one crop. They get 2 crops a year. And we want to know why.
Why?
He said, we've gone down and we've investigated. So the fellow said, what is the cause? He said, I'm not supposed to tell you, you know. Seaweed. They use seaweed as fertilizer. He says, so all the crops are bigger, they taste better, they have fewer insects, in, you know, a whole lot. So
Right.
I think we have not begun to think as a nation.
No.
We only think of buying crap from abroad and bringing it and putting it in the grocery to kill us slowly.
Kill us slowly.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, as we're winding up here, Doc, I'll just put in the whole little chat into context. And we started off talking about the whole spiritual connection and stuff like that. And it just occurred to me that's probably why God placed man in a garden and not in a palace.
Not in a palace. Praise the Lord. Thank you for that knowledge.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you.
Oh, yeah, I made that.
Big dog cough.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so true. Place him in the garden.
So, you know, God wanted this connection to be there. And
But
we are losing it.
I'll tell you something. One of the things that we have to realize is that the way we're going is not the way, right? You know, recently I've seen a lot of people come to me, they get married, and a year or 2 pass and nothing is happening. And you come, the woman comes in, and she normally has cysts or fibroids and things like that. And you have to point out to her that she has a chronic yeast infection, probably from taking antibiotics years ago for some minor thing. And nobody bothered to give her probiotics. So the first thing you got to do is you got to clean up the fungus, clean that out, right? And then give her probiotics to get it out. Melt the fibroid, melt the cyst. So you take a few months and you do that. You go and you call the husband, and when the husband comes, you have sperm count of 30 million. And he went and the doctor told him, that is a good count, man. But when you look at the bottom, you see 50% have bent heads, 25% have bent tails, they can't swim. By the time he finished, he have about 5% that look like they might be good. You know. You ask him, you working in the oil, or you working in some chemical stuff, or some kind of stuff. Most of the time, sometimes you're not doing that. He just, they don't have nobody home to cook in the morning, so he is eat on the run. So eating junk from anywhere.
Anywhere.
Right?
Out of plastic container.
Right,
Yes.
and his idea is of a good meal is a macaroni pie, right, with some chicken,
Yes.
loaded with estrogen
Good meal.
and steroids.
Good meal.
And not home cooked, right?
No.
Not even home cooked.
We have the other ones who deal with plenty fried chicken.
Oh, yeah. I've come across people who eat chicken 4 or 5 times for the week.
You ever notice they have breasts and hips like a woman?
Just
know?
try not to tell them too much.
And the thing about it is that we have a medical place here that doesn't say a word about that.
Yeah.
But when they're giving out free vaccines,
Yeah.
oh, they're out there, man, you know, this is the thing to take. Why doesn't the Minister of National Health come out and say, watch what you're eating, watch the food, don't eat chicken with plenty hormones. You know.
I suppose it's not in the... Let's leave that.
It's not in it is not in the interest of the people who have money. Right? What we should be doing is stressing what is in the interest of the little people, because they provide the backbone of the country.
Yeah.
You know.
And the government has stated that, you know, that the workforce is the actual wealth of the country. What the workforce could do.
But you see, the whole point about it is that I think we have everything wrong-sided round. You know, that we keep getting fed the same thing. I remember when I was young, I came around the corner one day from school at a lunchtime, and they had a guy with a truck, and he was sharing out Coca-Cola. How much people you have in the family? 7 children and 2 parents, 9. And he give you a little bag, he say, carry that home. And they didn't do it once, you know. They did it for a whole week. That whole area. And Coke is the thing to drink. Then the next thing was, get rid of the coconut oil and use this oil. This is the right oil. This is the oil that will cause you diabetes the next 50 years from now. You know, so we're constantly being led down the road. You know, lady comes to me, she says, oh, I am doing well, you know. I am drinking almond milk. I say, that is coming a pack from abroad. I say, you're lucky if you have about 6 almonds in that liter of milk. You have everything else in it, taste enhancers and all kind of thing, but you don't have much almonds. You know, so why don't you go to the nut shop and buy your almonds yourself and blend it up and put it in the fridge? I don't have the time. So I had to point out to him that it does take time to go to the grocery, and the same time it takes to go to the grocery and stand up in a line to cash. It would take you much less time to blend up the almonds. But that's the mindset that we have. We live in the instant age, and the instant age is terrorizing us.
So we have come to the end of this chat. Shepherd Wallace, we want to thank you for taking the time out to join us and to share your knowledge with us regarding these local remedies, treatments. I suppose we will have you back at some point in time.
Yes.
Right.
It's a pleasure.
And it has been a pleasure, always it is, Doc, to hear and to partake in this discussion where we explore the, how should I put it, the vast universe of health. Because as we go along, we are realizing that there is so much more to learn.
And that health is not in a pharmacy.
Yes.
Health is in the food that you eat.
Yes. Yes.
And we're eating all the wrong foods, and we put in too much pesticides and too much fungicides in it, and it is killing us.
And if we really have to take that holistic view of well-being and health, we have to look at everything. How what we eat affects our bodies, and therefore it affects our minds and our spirituality, our connection to God and everything. And that it has all these connections. I mean, everything is connected, and therefore everything is important. So, thanks for viewing, and you have been watching Spiritual Health.